What next? Another thing about China, this was in news recently, is the Chinese demographics. The demographics of China are terrible. What is demographics? Population by age, basically. So let's see. This is CNN. Let's go with CNN for this. China's population is shrinking. The impact will be felt around the world by Jesse Yuang, CNN. So the country's population fell in 2022 to 1.411 billion, down some 850,000 people from previous year. China's National Bureau of Statistics announced during a Tuesday briefing on annual data. The last time China's population decreased was in 1961 during a famine that killed tens of millions of people across the country. This time, a combination of factors are behind this drop. The far-reaching consequences of one-child policy China introduced in 1980s, but has since abandoned. Changing attitudes towards marriage and family among Chinese youth, entrenched gender inequality, and challenges of raising children in China's expensive cities. So I think the best person on this topic on Chinese demographics that you should search on YouTube is Peter Zaihan. Peter Zeihan. Zaihan. I think that's how it's pronounced. Uh, Apologies if it's wrong. And what will happen if population falls? What will happen in a demographic collapse? A falling population is likely to exacerbate China's problem with an aging workforce and drag on growth. So, what is this demographic problem? Put it simply, too many old people, not enough young people. Who's the productive workforce of a country? People that are between age 18 and 60. And China's population is more and more towards old people. There are many old people compared to young people. And what will happen as a result? Expensive, expensive healthcare. Let's go that countries' healthcare issue will get bigger and bigger because of number of old people, decline of productivity because old people again, and just more dependent population in general. It's generally not good for any country to have too many old people. And China is not the only one. In fact, most of the white and Asian countries are going through a demographics collapse. Russia has this problem, Japan has this problem, South Korea has this problem, Taiwan has this problem, Europe has this problem, North America has this problem. So, Europeans and North Americans have decided to tackle this problem just by importing immigrants, basically allowing foreigners to work there and easing immigration laws so foreigners can work there. So that's why so many Indian people can go and work in United States and Europe. And it's good solution in general from economic standpoint and from a demographic standpoint, but it's not a good solution from cultural standpoint because they're because all these immigrants come from different culture, they speak different languages, they have a different upbringing, and it can create issues that we can see in the West, especially in United States. And in United States, they are just the gates are open for migration. You can just go to Mexican border and just travel by foot to United States, basically at this point. Just people are coming in, migrants. And migration can introduce its own problems because native young population uh, cannot does not have those same economic opportunities because migrants can work for cheap. That's another thing about migrants. They are cheaper for corporations and from employer standpoint and than the native population, and it will drive down wages significantly for all people. So wages are the reason why corporations want immigrants, and demographics are the reason why governments want immigrants. It's the same reason for all this Arabic migration into Europe. If you look at European history, all these crusades, they've been trying to stop Arabs from entering Europe for hundreds of years. That's what all the crusades were about. That's why they were fighting Ottomans. And now they're just letting them come in. Why? Because native European population is going through a demographics crisis. Russia has this problem too, but Russia does not have high levels of immigration. And we will see how this demographics crisis plays out in China, in Japan, Russia, Europe, North America. In Europe and North America, it might not be a big deal if they can manage the cultural aspect of it, and I think they will be fine. Maybe. What about Russia? Russia is the most unstable one of all these people. And what about China? China will be unstable from a political and economic standpoint. But here's the thing, Chinese people have suffered from Mao Zedong, North Korea like conditions. They have increased their wealth under the same party that starved millions of their own people. So maybe that party will have an easier chance of controlling that population when it's going through that collapse. If they manage the economic side of it, if they transition their economy from manufacturing, low and medium level manufacturing, to maybe advanced level manufacturing and a strong consumer base like Germany, Japan, USA, if they make that transition, maybe they will have an easier time. And even after the demographics collapse of China is complete, they will still have at least 700 million people. That's half of their population, but that's also double the population of United States. Even after the collapse, China's population will be double that of United States current population, and they just have to keep their country together and not let just not let it collapse like the Soviet Union or something like that. And there are going to be some outside forces that will try to take advantage of this demographics crisis and ensure the collapse of China. See, but Chinese Communist Party or the Communist Party of China will crack down and will beat the drums of nationalism to their continue their authority and continue that system. And maybe if they manage to hold the country together politically and not lose their not lose that economic transition, maybe China will stay together. Otherwise, demographics will cause a massive problem to China as a nation. And not just China, Japan, Russia, Europe, North America, all of these countries. Basically, all the white and Asian population. You know what I mean? And we are in a rough era, let's just say. The good era was some from 1991 to 2008, and after 2008 things slowly started changing towards the worse, and that change towards worse has been accelerated thanks to all those lockdowns. 2 years, 2 year lockdowns, 2 3 years lockdowns, and we are in a rough time. Things will get ugly for almost all over the world. Of course, things were ugly in 90s for say Eastern Europe and Soviet Union, former Soviet Union, and things were ugly in early 2000s for the Arab world because of all the wars that US had fought. But now I think the entire world will will go through an ugly phase.